have such sights to show you.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Four Dead Losers podcast. We are two of the Four Dead Losers. I'm Ramiro.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're going to be talking about Hokum. Ooh, spooky. Jordan, on spoiler thoughts, what'd you think of the movie?
So this is another movie that the first trailer I saw for it was like 2 days ago. Plus like the little TikTok clips or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I'm torn on it in that I think it's a great movie. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm torn on how great it was, how much it hit for me. The same guy that wrote and directed Oddity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the name of the other movie.
Covert, I think.
To me, I'm a big Adam Scott fan because he's in Severance. So I'm a little biased. Okay, if he wasn't in the movie, I'd probably take away like a point. But overall, I thought it was really good. To me, it felt pretty similar to Oddity in terms of the quality. At least I know a lot of people, at least from what I read, felt like it was a really big breakout movie, or like it was really far superior. To me, obviously they're different in like story and execution, but I feel like you can tell it's the same person. And I really liked Oddity. I gave it a pretty high score. So to me, they felt probably the same in quality. I feel like if you liked Oddity, you'll enjoy this movie. But overall, I thought it was really good. Had really good performances. It kept me intrigued. It did a lot of story building, which I like. Had a couple moments that scared the shit out of me. I was kind of hoping for more, which we talked about before we started filming.
Yeah.
I wish more of the movie was scary, I guess. There's a part towards the end. I say towards the end, it's like probably 50 minutes in the movie. That's like, I guess, the climax when we finally get to this place that they've been talking about the whole time. And I wish that part was longer, I guess. Like, that part was really peak. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm struggling on a score. I'm struggling on a score. I gave Oddity a 7.5. So I'll give this movie an 8. I'll be generous. I'll give it an 8.
Wow.
Hopefully you give it higher.
Non-spoiler thoughts for myself. I thought this movie was fantastic. I wasn't Oddity's biggest fan, but it was very much a... not that I didn't think it was good, it just wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
This one, I feel like, was right up my alley. I thought it was really great. The jump scares, which we'll get into later, I feel like I missed a movie to give me, I guess, that feeling. Like, I haven't felt that anticipation or, I guess, what is it called? Like when you come down from a jump scare.
I can't think of the name, but...
It's alright.
I know what you mean. I had mentioned this, I think, when you first brought up how you enjoyed the movie, that, like... Yeah, I can't remember the last horror movie I know jump scares can be cliche if they're not executed properly, but that, like, actually did that effectively. Because a lot of the movies, like, things like The Mummy, which I thought was amazing, is a lot of just, like, hard to look at. Like, or even, like, things like Weapons aren't necessarily, like... jump scare-ish kind of scary. It's just really unsettling.
Well, that one in Weapons or there's two, right? Like the ceiling and then when Homeboy lifts up the thing. Yeah, those two really got me.
But
so Weapons was probably the last time I felt like
scared.
And in Weapons, it only happened twice for those two jump scares. But this one, like every single one, I thought it was really good. I feel like everybody did really well in their roles. I don't think that there was a single actor on the screen where I was kind of like, they're kind of lame or whatever.
They were all very invested in their characters. Mm-hmm. They did very
much so. And there were some parts that, like, going into this movie, I'd only seen one trailer. I forget which one it was, but it was basically like a really big overview, like a super general overview of the movie, which I guess is what trailers are supposed to do. But other than seeing that, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, right? Because I think before that, you can get like, some snippets of what the story's actually about. So I went in semi-blind, and I was very satisfied. So I was talking with Adam about this too. I think it was yesterday.
Oh, did he end up watching it or no?
No, he didn't watch it. But I was telling him that until Evil Dead Burn comes out, that this movie is probably my pick for 2026. I thought it was really good. For the best one thus far.
Yeah.
So my score for this movie is going to be a 9.5 out of 10. Damn. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah. For Oddity, wasn't my cup of tea. Covert, I tried watching it. Wasn't my cup of tea either. But this one just hit me in the right spot.
Was it Undertone with A24, right?
I believe so.
I feel like with A24 and especially Neon the last few years, like, I don't know, man. Things are hitting. This sounds really messed up, but like now anytime I see like Lionsgate or Blumhouse, like if it's by a big studio, it's probably going to be trash, honestly.
So
like
Blumhouse did, or is, I don't know how involved they were in the production, but they did Obsession. And Obsession, which comes out in a couple weeks as of this filming, we're filming this on May 6th, is getting really, really good reviews. And I'm like, for a Blumhouse movie, but I don't know, man. People that I love Dead Meat, they're saying it's amazing, so I'm like, okay.
I don't know if Primate was I feel like I saw a Blumhouse movie recently that exceeded my expectations.
I don't know if it would have been Primate.
Unless it was like Ready or Not to or something, I don't know. I don't know, I feel like the switch for me was like, everything, like, to me the breakout moment for Neon was like, no, that was IFC. I'm thinking of Late Night with the Devil. That's when I really felt...
I think they were Neon.
Oh, that's when I really felt like, yeah, indie movies are better than me.
But yeah, 9.5 out of 10. Nice. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into the spoiler section of the video. Hopefully this is still showing in theaters when this video comes out. If not, wait. It's great. So with that being said, get spoiler section of the video. This is going to be your spoiler warning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ba-bam. So the movie basically opens up and we have this conquistador walking into the desert, and he has a squire with him, and he's holding like a map, right? He's looking at a map, and they have on the map there's like a really distinct red circle that they end up finding in the sand.
Amanda asked me if we were in the right movie theater when it started. All I thought was, bro, I'm watching Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness. And we see that it's actually Adam Scott's character. He's writing a book, and we can see that he's writing the epilogue for this book.
I like the way this was done.
Mm-hmm. So as he's writing, we basically see what he's writing play out with this conquistador. And so they end up going to the circle, they approach it, they try to look at the map, or the conquistador tries to look at the map. But it turns out that the cork, either the tip is broken or it's pushed too far in. Either way, they can't get the map out. So, in the, I guess what we would consider the real life, you can very clearly make out that Adam Scott writes, they were doomed. And so then the squire gets called over, and then the conquistador gets ready to basically blow the bottle on the guy's head.
The fact that, I don't know, like, is your knee not as bony? I don't know.
I don't know.
I like the way they did the tie-in with, like, the cup and, like, going in between the shots of the circle and then how it ties in later. I thought that was... Mm-hmm. Honestly, I feel like the more we talk about this, I'm going to want to raise my score.
So, as he's getting ready to hit the bottle over the kid's head, we see something fall in the background of Adam Scott's room, and we're going to find out what that is in a little bit. And then he turns, and we see this figure standing in the what's essentially his hallway, or I guess his stairway leading
a very
up.
Clear figure.
Mm-hmm. It's a very clear figure. Like, we're talking, there's an overhead light, and there's some black figure standing there. And so he starts adjusting his lamp to illuminate the area, and then the figure's gone. But not really, because it's a jump scare. Because it shows up right behind him.
It does. That was a good one. I'm not sure how I didn't really think about it until right now. I'm not sure how this ties in with, because like he's not in the area that's supposed to be haunted. So I don't know if this. I guess I don't know what this implies, or if it's just there to.
Well,
he's fighting the demons.
I think it's supposed to imply that he's still grieving his mom. Yeah. Because throughout the movie, and it's going to come up throughout the movie, but we see her ghost, and the thing that fell in the background is her urn.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
I don't know if it's her urn or her dad's urn, but or his dad's urn, but it's one of the two of them.
Wait, so is that jump scare behind him his mom?
I don't know. I think at that point, because we didn't get to see this character too often, so I'm not entirely sure. Guess I gotta rewatch the movie.
Yeah. You're right though. That makes sense in that like he's still grieving that, because then that's what leads him to like pull out all the old stuff.
Exactly. He pulls out the box of the basically his childhood stuff, and we see that there's a book that they focus on for a little bit. I think it's called like Jack Rabbit or Jack the Rabbit, something like that.
Yes, I just caught that too.
Something rabbit.
I swear it said like. Why do I think it said Jack the Jackass or something? Maybe I'm tripping, but
maybe, I don't know. But then he finds a box and he opens the box, and inside of the box there's a firearm. So then we get a shot of the two urns, and it's the mom and dad urn that are right next to each other. And then we get a shot of basically what's like a newspaper ad for a hotel or a magazine ad or something like that. And so the next we cut, and we are with Adam Scott as he's driving towards this hotel. So the ad is for the hotel that his parents had their honeymoon at. And they were staying in the honeymoon suite, which of course will come into play later. As he's driving, we do see a guy who's kind of just lollygagging in the forest. He's staring up at the trees. Yeah. He gets to the hotel, and we get this old creepy guy who's talking to these two kids, little boys, and they have like I don't know what it's called. I don't know how to say it, but it's like how people have like the mini Christmas villages.
Right, it's very similar.
Mm-hmm. But it's like two kids getting lost in the forest.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not a dollhouse. They're like cement figures.
Yeah,
like a cement house.
It's like a miniature setup. But basically, he's telling the story about how two kids, when they go missing in the woods, they get caught by a witch, and then the witch basically takes them to hell before eating them. And then before taking them to hell, the witch takes something very special from the boys, from the victims, that only they possess. And he's saying this in a way that's very, predatory.
I'm barely making connections about this to stuff that happens later. It's blowing my mind. Okay. I didn't think this far into it.
Yeah.
It is very predatory. Like, I don't know why at first I thought that was their like grandpa or something. I didn't realize they're just like two kids that are just in this hotel.
Yeah, and this guy's the owner. We'll find out he's the owner.
He's like scaring the shit out of them, bro.
So that's very important, is that when people get lost in the woods, this witch finds them and takes something very precious that only they possess, and then takes them to hell before eating them. And then Adam Scott rings the bell, which is the same bell from Oddity, which is like, I understand that it's supposed to be the same bell from Oddity, but I feel like we don't get, like, there's no distinct feature from it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a bell.
Right, I almost wish. I didn't know it was supposed to be. Like, I didn't know that was the implication.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're all happening in the same universe.
Yeah, something like that. Because the rabbit from Covert shows up in Oddity, and then the hotel bell from this movie is in Oddity. Yeah. It's the one that that you ring and the bellhop shows up.
I recognize the bell. Yeah, I do agree that I wish. Mm-hmm. I guess there's something more distinct about it in the way that something like Evil Dead has certain Easter eggs that like have to be from that specific thing, because they have like, I guess, things that denote it.
Yeah,
like maybe if there was like an imprint on it or
something. That's like a logo or something.
Yeah.
Or like I forget the name of the hotel, but like the first letter or something.
Yeah.
But Adam Scott basically rings the bell, and he tells the kids, "Hey, stop talking to strangers."
At the end, I was rooting for him, but he's like, which we kind of uncover part of why, but he's kind of an asshole for like the whole first half of the movie.
Yeah, he's a really big.
He's like a writer, and he just comes across as like. He even says later on, like, never meet your heroes. Mm-hmm. So he's aware. He's self-aware.
Yeah, self-aware that he's a douchebag.
Because he even tells the owner, like, why don't you mind your own business?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like, well, it is my business. I'm the owner. That's how we find out that he's the owner. And so while he's ringing the bell, he's waiting, and we see a worker wheel away the owner, because the owner's in a wheelchair. And this worker, I can't remember his name, but it starts with an F.
Yeah, I don't know what his job is. He had a crossbow earlier. We see it. He like ends up killing a goat or something.
Yeah, he kills goats because the goats will jump on the cars from the guests.
Because this hotel is literally in a forest. Like,
yeah.
I didn't realize till the kind of like the second half that in my mind the guy that rolls the owner away is the son-in-law. I didn't realize I had it switched. That like the son-in-law is the guy that ends up helping Adam Scott during this moment.
Yeah, manager.
Yeah, so I don't know what the other guy's title is. He's like, he's just there. He's just there for the vibes.
So the manager shows up and basically says that, Adam Scott and him have the conversation about where they're going to go, all that kind of good stuff. So then he gives him his key, and then Scott's on his way. His name is Bowman, by the way. His character's last name is Bowman, but I can't remember the first name.
They all have like, I don't want to assume that they're Irish first names, but like they're unique first names that aren't very common. This is another, just to pinpoint how like Adam Scott's character, the manager asks him like, wait, I think I recognize your name. Will you sign a book for my kid?
And he says, no.
No, and he just walks away.
I think is that where they dropped the name of the trilogy? It's like the Conquistador trilogy or something like that.
I think that might be later on when he's
talking to Fiona.
And the bellhop. I think that's the proper title.
Oh, yes. You're right. So then Adam Scott gets lost in he goes up to the hotel where all the rooms are. He gets lost, and he's like, what the heck? And there's this basically, like, you can, I guess, infer that there's supposed to be a door there, but there's no door there, implying that there's no room there, so he's just confused about where his room is. So then another employee comes to help him, and her name's going to be Fiona, and she's like, can I help you find something or something like that? And he, like, responds, like, oh, no, she asks, are you lost? And he says, do I look lost? And she goes, I guess you can stay lost, and then walks away. But eventually they work it out, and then she leads him to her room.
Which again, just another,
sorry.
I don't know if this connects to anything later, but it's just another off vibe of like, I don't know, like this room is supposed to be here, but it's not. Like the whole place just gives something's up.
Something's up. So then they eventually make it to their room. He starts unpacking, and she's asking like, hey, is there anything else I can help you with? And he goes, do you know where there's a big oak tree, I think. Yeah. And the way that this tree, and then we cut straight to the tree, and the way that this tree is shaped is very odd.
It is very odd.
It's like you have the normal trunk, and it has a canopy or whatever, but about halfway up, there's a thick branch that basically cuts off into a right angle.
It makes a complete right. I've never looked at like red oaks. I don't know if this is a normal thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is a tree that was like in a picture that he had of his mom. Mm-hmm. But it's a very odd looking tree.
It's a very odd looking tree that would make it extremely easy to essentially take your own life with a rope if you can fill in the blanks.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So then here he spreads his mom's ashes and then his dad's ashes as well. But when he spreads his dad's ashes, he basically just throws them.
He does.
And he doesn't give a fuck. He just... and then he starts walking away and he sees another dead goat. And then he strikes up a conversation with this man named Jerry.
Just sitting out there.
Yeah. Basically, so Jerry... gives Adam some moonshine.
And he drinks it, just from a random stranger that he just met. Like,
yeah. Doesn't he say that it's spiked? Like he put mushrooms in it or something?
That was the other, because Adam Scott assumes, this guy's doing like a white liquid, and he assumes it's milk. And then after the moonshine, he explains like, well, mine has mushrooms in it, basically.
Yeah. That it has mushrooms in it. And so the reason why the goats are jumping on cars is because they eat the mushrooms that are in the forest. They get high, then they go onto the roofs of the cars because they can see the reflection, and then they just start jumping. So then we cut back to the hotel, and Scott is talking to the bartender, who is Fiona, and he's telling her about his book and how it's going to end and how the ending is super bleak and all these other things. Yeah. And she's like, bro, why would you write that? And she's like dogging on him. I think it's very funny her character's interactions with him, because it's very much like we see everybody else like, oh, you're famous XYZ, but her, she's like, bro, you're just another guest. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, and she's like the only one that he can't successfully be an ass to because she matches the energy.
Right. So then she goes off, he tells her that his parents honeymooned there, and that his mom was murdered. And she goes, oh, did they ever catch the guy? And he says, the guy who shot her was too young for consequences. So immediately I was like, oh, it was fucking him when he was a kid.
And even, which is funny, that didn't click to me. It didn't click to me because the lady, he had told Fiona, like, brought out the same picture from earlier and said, like, oh, you remind me of my mom. Because Fiona was like, oh, how old do you think I am? But then we see that his mom is pretty young in the picture. And he goes through all that, and then he even says, like, yeah, I was a little kid. They should have got rid of him, essentially. Yeah. Like, he didn't face the punishment he should have. That's also when we find out that his dad basically, I think, became an alcoholic. Like, that was
afterwards. And so he starts to ask about the honeymoon suite, right? Because it's like, oh, my parents, when they were here, they were in the honeymoon suite. So he starts to ask about that, and she says that it's locked, and that the owner trapped a witch in the room. Ooh, spooky. And if you ever get chased by a witch, to draw a circle with chalk on the ground to protect yourself.
Bro, like the SpongeBob episode.
Yeah, with the sea bear.
She brings out like a whole book though, like it has all the.
It's like Irish folklore or something like that is the title. And so then the bellhop then comes over, and then they start conversing a little bit, because Fiona tells the bellhop, hey, why don't you tell him the story about your encounter with the witch? And so then we go ahead and we see, and this is one of the things I really like about this movie, is that all of like the, hey, tell them about XYZ, we see that, like we see
it's
the
very
flashback.
well done. Even like when he's writing the book and we see that like visualized, it's really well done.
Yeah.
And the way it's inserted, it's
So, I forgot to mention this, but when Scott's going to his room, he passes like this offshoot hallway, and the owner and the other worker are basically like making sure that the gate is locked. And this gate leads to an elevator. Well, with the bellhop, we see him standing outside of the gate, and then the elevator opens, and he hears something. I can't remember what he hears, but then he turns around, and he has like this lighter, right?
Why do people always do this? He has like his whole arm through the...
He has his whole arm through the thing, and this is why I love the jump scares of this movie. Because at any point, we're like, bro, like there's going to be a jump scare here, and we know it, right? But they always deliver the scare when you feel safe. Like when you're like, oh, there's obviously nothing there. Bam, there it is.
And a lot of it is like very, like, oh, you're waiting for the reveal, and you get a slow reveal, and then the camera cuts, and then you get like a really harsh,
Yeah.
This director definitely, at least like in my opinion, has a very unique style. Like I feel like you can tell it's the same person.
Yeah, we just talked about Lee Cronin having his own.
Yeah, it's executed very well. I think that some movies like, I'm a fan of them, don't hate me, but things like The Conjuring get into the very cliche, like, I'm just throwing jump scares in here with no... It's kind of like copy-paste, not a lot of creativity. Yeah. But these are really well done.
Then after the bellhop finishes his story, that's when Scott's character drops the line, Hokum.
Which means bullshit. He's calling him a liar.
Which means BS. So then the conversation then kind of divulges into, hey, I'm a writer, would you want to see my manuscript? And he says no, and then like the bellhop keeps talking and talking and talking, and he burns, and Scott burns him with a spoon. He puts a spoon.
I wasn't expecting that, because he literally tells the bellhop like, oh, so you're wearing a costume or what? And he's like, no, I work at the hotel. He's like, so you're not a writer, basically. Yeah. Then I was wondering, he's like heating his spoon in
a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, and then he just fucking burns him.
Then he runs off, then the other employees show up. Hey, what happened? XYZ. And then we cut to later, and Fiona is bringing Adam Scott's things to his room because he left them at the bar. And he's not answering the door, and so she asks the bellhop to open the door, and he's very reluctant at first, but eventually they go ahead and do, and when they turn on the light, they see Scott's character hanging from the ceiling.
This was a reveal that I was not... I don't know, because it's almost like when you get a movie like this where, like, again, the jump scares are kind of done in unique ways. Because she's implying that something bad happened to him, you almost expect the opposite. Like, no, they're not going to do that. So when I actually saw the visual, I don't know, it was just shocking. I also feel like now, because it's a much more, I think it's that topic is taken a lot more serious and it's more sensitive. I feel like you see it, it's a more rare occasion. Same with like movies like Terrifier, when you have like children involved in violence. Like, I think it's just such a shocking sight to see. Like, it really hits your emotions.
So then he's like having a dream at this point, and everything is really black and white and gritty, and he's in an elevator, and he is hearing like these moaning noises.
Which is it, the elevator? Like, does it have a cage? Okay.
Yeah, it's the elevator, the one that's for the honeymoon suite. And we can hear like these not usual moaning that you would expect coming from a honeymoon suite.
Right. It's like almost like painful moaning. Like,
yes.
Like, it's not groaning. It is moaning, but yeah, it's like out of agony, basically.
Right. It's like a.
It's creepy, bro. I would be the fuck out of there.
Yeah, it's right, because everything's black and white and that's super gritty on the screen. And the elevator doors close, and we can see his mom's reflection in the thing. And then we cut to straight to the hotel room, him in the hotel room, and we can see mom's hand being put on his shoulder, and he wakes up and nobody's there.
Because I'm pretty sure I feel like he like closes and opens the elevator door, like he's trying to leave wherever he's at, and it just won't move.
Right. So then after he wakes up, we cut again, and we're back at the hotel, and he goes to basically pick up his stuff. The manager is having a conversation with somebody, so he's not able to go to the bell as soon as he rings it. So then eventually they start conversing, and Adam is like, hey, where's Fiona? I want to, talk to her, like thank her for, finding me and all that good stuff. And he says that she's been missing since that night, that nobody's seen her, and that night was, I don't remember exactly how many weeks ago, but he uses the term weeks ago. So
it seems like, I don't know why my mind, I thought it was like a month or so, but yeah, it has been a while.
It's been a while, yeah. It probably would be about a month if they're closing for the season, right? And if like they had the Halloween parties, so maybe they don't want to be open during winter.
Right, so yeah.
And the police are gathering information on Jerry, who's the guy who was, drinking the white liquid, the local weirdo, I think is what they call it.
Basically, yeah.
So I think this is where the manager drops that he is wanted for the murder of his wife that happened 10 years ago, but nobody was able to find him or connect it to him, but now they have suspicions.
Yeah, and he's been missing too.
And so then he goes to leave, and then as Adam's walking out, he sees the other worker, and they start having a conversation basically saying that the other worker is like, hey, Fiona wasn't herself that night, like stuff was going on, and then Adam asks if they checked the honeymoon suite, and he's like, no, it's locked and the owner has the key. So then Scott goes, hey, did the police talk to you? And then which I feel like is a very valid question, but
right prior to him asking that, it gives the well, why don't you just want to check? Like something very suspicious. Right. And then the police talk. Valid question and very we know what he's insinuating.
Yes, exactly, which is exactly what I thought. And exactly what this dude thinks, because he immediately goes to threatening.
He does. He's like, well, actually, my cousin works there, my uncle works there. Essentially, they're corrupt.
Yeah.
Then he goes to threat. Yeah, out of nowhere, it gets
like, you better go back to America before things get bad or something like that.
I'm in America. Things are bad. I get.
Yeah, we get it. So then he gets in his car to leave, and then he stops basically about halfway down the road at a van to go check it out. And this is where Jerry lives. Jerry lives in a van. I don't know if it's just off property or on the property and nobody cares.
I don't know if he drove a little bit down the road. I don't know the way the woods are connected. I don't know. This man's just doing whatever.
Yeah, he lives on a van off of the road.
It seems decently close, or it's at least on the one-way road that is in and out.
Yeah.
Because there's a point in time when they're counting the cars leaving. So
right.
That has to be decently close.
So he goes to check out the van. He opens the back doors, and there's the book that Fiona had right there. And so then we get a Jerry jump scare.
We do get a Jerry jump.
And they basically converse at that point, right? So Jerry says that he doesn't know what happened to Fiona, but he knows that she's dead. And that we have basically a flashback. And in the flashback, we can see that Jerry is a substance abuser. So he was filing through the medicine cabinet looking for something, and he heard the bell ring for the honeymoon suite.
It's like an old school hotel where, because there's multiple of them where there's like a pull string in the room. Which I don't know how the fuck that works.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I imagine that it's just a bunch of pulleys that, you know, when you pull this
all the way down,
all the way down, it rings the bell. So he hears the bell ring. He goes out into the lobby and he sees the bell ringing, and then we get a jump scare of Fiona. Ah! And she's like holding her mouth closed, and she's pointing up at the honeymoon suite bell. And so he's like, I need you to go with me back into the hotel when it closes, so that way we can go check out the honeymoon suite.
This is when we find out that Jerry's actually kind of good at being sneaky, because Adam Scott is like, well, the problem is we don't have the key, and he like shows his code, and he has a fucking key. I snuck over to his house the other day, basically.
And we know it's the honeymoon suite key because it has a heart as a keychain. So it's like, okay, yeah, this is it. So then we cut to that night, and
which, did they have the paranormal conversation already, where Jerry's talking about like, or is this earlier on by the tree? There's a point in time when Jerry is talking about how like, I guess Adam Scott's looking at the folklore stuff and telling him, like, you actually believe in this. And Jerry says, like, yeah, it's always there, but...
Oh, that's right now.
Oh, that's about that? Okay.
Yeah, that night is when they have this conversation.
Okay, I thought it was earlier. Okay, I just want to make sure we didn't gloss over that.
No, yeah, because he opens up with how the magic milk opens your mind to see the ghost. And that this is where we get, like, more of the Jerry lore. He's saying that his wife was in pain, and in a lot of pain, that's why he took her life. And that he saw her ghost, and her ghost was really thankful that he had done it.
Yeah.
That she's no longer suffering and all that good stuff. And just like you're saying, they're counting the cars as they go by, right, until the hotel is basically empty and they can go in. And so they walk into the hotel, and it's all dark, nobody's inside, and Jerry goes to the office so he can get the crossbow. As more of like a just in case kind of thing, because they don't know what they're going to run into.
Which, well, it's not civilized, it's still a weapon, but like the fact they have a crossbow and like not a gun or something is so Ireland.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if they're allowed to have guns. I don't know.
Which also, I guess maybe like if you're killing goats or stuff, like it's probably less messy than, you know, a bullet like fucking. But.
Yeah. So then, while he's getting the crossbow in the manager office, and Adam Scott is in the lobby, waiting. So as he's waiting, we get a shot of basically the other worker coming and knocking Jerry out.
Which I think I don't know if he's a groundskeeper or I'm assuming he's just everywhere.
He might be, or something similar.
He's emphasized. I don't know if he's like the assistant manager. I mean, there's only like 4 people that work here.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. So then he goes ahead, he knocks Jerry out, and then he walks basically out of the building. And he makes a phone call to somebody, I forget who, I think it might be the manager, but saying that he found Jerry in the building and he's taking him to the police.
Yeah.
And he leaves Scott in the hotel, and we hear and see, as soon as Homeboy walks out of the building, the honeymoon suite bell starts ringing.
Yeah. So and Adam Scott has the key.
He does. He has the key. So then he goes ahead, he unlocks the key, he goes to the room, and the way that this works is that after the elevator takes you up, the doors open to like a small hallway, which then has the door to the honeymoon suite. And he goes in, and immediately you know that it's the elevator from his dream, the one that he has, because it has the same mirror, the same setup, the same everything. And as soon as he walks into the hallway, that's when haunted shit just starts happening from the get-go. Like the door opens by itself.
Yes, it does.
And as he's walking into the room, the elevator door not only does it close, but elevator doors close on their own, but it also goes down.
Yeah.
By itself. And then we basically get him being introduced, or we're introduced to the setting for the rest of the movie, right? It's his honeymoon suite. So him exploring. The way that it's set up is that like when you walk in, there's like a little, I guess, like an equivalent to like a mud area where you put your shoes, all that kind of good stuff, which then opens up into a living room, which then has two other doorways, one leading to the bedroom and then one leading to some other room, which that other room then has like a giant open window to the restroom, which is connected to the actual bedroom.
Yeah, there's a lot of room.
Yeah.
There's also we'll see later on, there's like doors under the desk. I don't know, bro. It's a spooky ass room.
Yeah,
you can tell it's an old hotel.
room.
Like,
and to make things even spookier, there's a clock that's in the room of this little boy, and he has like a hammer that hits a bell, and that immediately starts going off, and it's loud.
it is very, very loud.
Yeah, and then the water in the tub is dirty as shit.
I can't tell if it was bloody or dirt. I don't know.
dirty.
It's gross.
Like, in my mind, it's like, why did you leave it full of water? Why is there still water in this tub?
Bro, the witch was taking it back.
True. And then he eventually, like, falls asleep on the bed.
I think we get a tease going up to the bed, too, because, like, it's already been prefaced that a witch is in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like even when he's going up to the bed, like, everybody's expecting something to be in there.
Right.
You know? And then he just takes a nap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then this is where we have the dream, or one of the dream sequences, of a little boy sitting in a dark room. There's only one light that's above him. He's watching a TV, and he's watching this Jackrabbit show. And it's the fucking rabbit from the trailer, where it's the creepy ass.
It is very creepy.
Yeah, it's really creepy.
Like, it's supposed to be a kid's show, but it's not a kid's show.
Yeah, I think the reason why it looks so creepy is because, like, from his perspective, he was watching that while he was traumatized. You know what I mean? So we see him fiddling with the firearm, and then we hear Mom get home, and then it goes off while it's in his hand, and then we see her holding her face as she walks over to him and then collapses on the ground.
Yeah. Which, again, we saw this firearm early on, and yeah, you made the connection. I didn't make the connection until this point that I was like, oh shit, like he killed his own mom essentially.
Mm-hmm. Which is like crazy.
Right. Like, one, I mean, that has to be so traumatizing.
Right.
And two, like, it explains a lot about his character and like his the actions he's taken so far into the movie.
Then he's woken up by... Is this where...
This is the manager, I'm pretty sure.
Does the rabbit, like, go through the...
Yeah. It's like a jump scare at the end of the dream, basically.
So at the end of the dream, we see... the bed has, like, these drapes that are on all four sides of it. And through the drapes, we see the Jackrabbit face, and he's, like, talking to him. I can't remember what he says, but it's so fucking creepy.
That Jackrabbit is creepy as hell. Like, we're gonna get to it. I'll wait till we get to it, but it's creepy as fuck, dude.
It's so good. I love the way it looks. And then when Scott wakes up, it's actually the manager that's there. And he's waking him up so they can leave. So then as they're walking through, like, the living room, Adam Scott notices that there's a shaft in one of the corners that he didn't look at before. And so the manager's being super insistent about, like, we need to leave right now. If we don't, I'm having you trespassed.
Yeah,
which is like...
I don't know if he's in a rush because of... Like, well, we know why he's in a rush, but to me, I don't know if he's trying to play out the whole, like, there's a witch in there thing, or, like... I don't know.
The way that I interpreted it was more like, you're just not supposed to be here. Like, we need to go.
Like, what the fuck are you doing in some other way?
Until he starts pressing the button to call the elevator.
Oh, because he even looks down the shaft.
He does.
And it's just like, it's deep, bro.
It's deep.
He's
and
like,
it's just like...
Oh yeah, a basement was here when we bought the place, but that doesn't work. Basically saying, like, yeah, there's nothing down there, like, we just left it there.
Yeah.
Because... Oh, we found out what was more sus is that Adam Scott goes to press the button, and the manager, like, grips the shit out of his hand.
Yes.
And then he presses it.
He presses it anyways. And the little, what would you call it? A carrier or whatever? Basket?
I would call it a carrier. I always thought these were, when I see these in other movies, this is like kind of a horror trope in some movies whenever somebody has to hide or whatever.
Like Ready or Not?
Yeah. I always thought these were like trash chutes or like laundry. I didn't realize that, like, this one in specific, is it is it meant to carry somebody, or is it meant to carry like other things to the basement, and there's supposed to be another entrance that's
what I
off?
thought.
Because we see that like there's no exit from the basement, which means something got blocked off. But yeah, we're just watching this thing slowly go up.
We watch it slowly go up.
I don't think the manager waits for it to come up, or does he?
I think
I feel like he books it like right away.
I think he books it to the door, and he's like yelling at Scott to leave as it's coming up until we get to see what's in the carrier, and it's Fiona's dead body, and then that's when he books it.
He locks the door.
Yep, he locks Scott in the door, or in the room, and then he takes off.
Goes
He's
down,
like,
he
sorry,
locks
bud.
the elevator. Yeah. Which, bro, Fiona was dressed as Freddy Fat. No.
She's dressed as a rabbit. There's a lot of rabbit imagery in this movie. And so we get a flashback to what happened that night. And so Fiona and the manager are having a conversation about Adam Scott's character. And he gives her a drink, and it's very obviously drugged.
He even tells her, like, don't let it get cold or something.
Something like that, yeah.
And, like, pushes her to drink it, basically.
And he takes her to the suite, and then, puts her body in the carrier, and then sends it down. On Fiona, so then we cut back to real time. On Fiona's dead body, Scott finds like a voice recorder.
Which, is this the same one I think it's his, right?
Yes, it is his. That's one of the things that she was returning to him.
Right, which I didn't realize he didn't get back with like the other stuff he had grabbed earlier.
And so she left a message on it, and not throughout the movie, but like really key points.
Basically from here to the end, the key points.
We hear her
cuts in with perfect timing. This is another like really well done, great concept.
Where on her message she's saying that she's pregnant and it's with the manager's baby.
And he wanted her basically to not have the baby.
Right.
She refused.
So. She refused. She was very insistent about like, I don't want anything from you. I just, want this baby, no child support or anything. And the reason for that, I don't remember if we find out here or later on, but it's because the manager is the son-in-law of the owner.
Yeah.
So then,
that's a little bit of an issue, right?
Yeah. So then Adam Scott's basically like, hey, I need to get a way out of here. Or find a way out of here. This is where he finds the door that's like under the desk. And it's like this small little door. Think of the Mummy.
Basically.
And he sees that there's screw, or he tries to kick it open, but it's locked on the other side.
Which I don't know. I've never been trapped in a room, and I hope that I'm never trapped in a room. But like, in all these situations, I'm like, do you really not have enough force to like get through a lock?
And the lock's not that big.
Like wouldn't you couldn't break, like same with the door, like you couldn't break through the door if you really, I don't know. It might be a really well enforced door, like, but yeah, then he sees the screws, which is when he decides to, I can just unscrew the door.
Yeah, he unscrews the door. He gets one of them done. And then he starts to he unscrews one of them with a knife that he has.
This is like a flat head. It's just
and he found it and like there's like a silverware kind of platter in the room.
Yeah.
And that's where he gets the knife. And then that's when we start to hear the same moaning from the dream.
Yeah.
And we're like,
oh yeah, because he's like looking back. We get a quick, I wouldn't call it a jump scare, but like we get a silhouette behind him. Like
somebody's there. While this is going on, just like a little. We do cut for a little bit to Jerry waking up in the van. He has a knife. He frees himself from his handcuffs. I think he was zip tied together, and then he jumps up again.
Which this guy did not do a very good job. I feel like if you're gonna take a hostage, you like take anything valuable, anything that could be dangerous. This man had a whole knife on him, like. And Jerry, he jumps out of the van, bro.
So cutting back to Scott, he gets the screw out, and we see Mom's ghost behind him.
It is his mom's. Is this the same time that like we see the lantern going on and off? Because he's carrying a lot. Or are we not to the lantern yet?
I don't think we're to the lantern yet.
But yeah, he's very like spooked, like paranoid looking around.
Yeah, paranoid looking around.
He gets to the second, which I don't even know if you would call it a screw. It almost looks like, I don't know. It is a screw, but like it has no clear head. It's not even like. It almost looks like an Allen wrench head, but it's just like a circle. Like, I don't know why you're gonna unscrew that.
And then he's like, basically like, oh, dang it. And then he gets out from under the desk and the clock rings, but every time we've heard the clock, it's only gone off once, but this time it goes off 3 times. I don't know if you've noticed this, but every time we see the clock, I should have wrote down what time it was, but the hands never move.
I was wondering because it shows the hands like it emphasized it, but I couldn't. It was stuck on 9 o'clock or something. So I was like, oh, I don't think that like the time is important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the hands never move, and Fiona's body's gone.
It is.
Yeah.
Because it draws his attention back over there, and he's like, what the hell?
It's like, what the fuck? I think, is Fiona's body the last time we saw it? Is it still in the shaft, or did he move it to the? No, it would have been still in the shaft.
It was still in the shaft. He had not moved it
to the chair.
So now the shaft is completely empty.
Mm-hmm. So then he starts looking around for the fucking body, right? It's like this woman. As far as you know, you're the only alive person in this room, and the body disappeared. And he starts looking around, and this is another scare that got. It's not really a scare, but like we see him walk from one. I love the way the camera work is. We see him walk from one room into the other, and as he's going through the doorway, the camera stays focused on him. He's still in the center of the shot, but when he goes through the doorway, his mom is behind him.
Yes.
I was like,
and these are,
fuck.
again, like, I don't even want to call them, they are teases in a way that, like, it draws your attention because then you're on the edge of your seat expecting that, like, oh. It does a similar thing, like how Undertone used a lot of darkness. This movie uses darkness so well that, like, it's just so unsettling.
Oh, it's so good. Because then the lights go out, and then there's knocking on the door. He goes over there, then the TV turns on and by itself. And in the reflection of the static, we see the fucking rabbit.
Oh, do we see all this before he tries to go down?
Mm-hmm.
That is when he sees the reflection of the rabbit.
Yeah.
And then he like turns and looks, and there's nothing there. Then he looks back at the screen.
And then the fucking rabbit like, ha!
Oh, is this before? Did they do the whole segment here? Or
This is the whole segment. Yeah. And so, this is so messed up. Of course, there's a jump scare, rabbit on the thing, and then we basically see, like, I guess what, episode of the show.
Like he's reading
a letter from Adam Scott's character, and basically, like, Adam Scott's character, as a kid, wrote him a letter, and I don't think he actually wrote this letter. I think it's
mental trauma.
Right, but he wrote a letter to Jack Rabbit. I'm just gonna call him Jack Rabbit. To Jack Rabbit, basically saying like, "Hey, I accidentally shot my mom and
in the face
and killed her." And the fucking rabbit's like, "Oh, you were very bad."
Right? Like, what are the two things we know not to do? And he mentions like not handling firearms is one of them.
Yeah. What are the two things we're not supposed to play with?
Oh, that.
He says fire and firearms.
I didn't catch the fire. Yeah, and then. This is when, like, the letter continues and he's talking about, like, essentially his dad's upset with him or whatever.
Yes.
And Jack Rabbit says, well, he should be, basically. Like, he has every right to be.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, that's so crazy.
It gave, like, the performance of, like, the original Joker movie where it just leans so far into this, like, villainous. I don't know. I can't remember the last time this happened because it's involuntary. I got chills during this part, genuinely. Like, my body felt, like, fucking cold. Like,
I'm still getting chills talking
about it. Oh, this was amazing. This was so well done.
It's really good. So then we cut to him. He's sitting after that segment's done, he's sitting at a table, and there's, like, an hourglass on the table. And in the hourglass, we the audience, I don't know if Scott sees it, but we, the audience, see that the conquistador and the squire are in the sand, and they're like waving at him or whatever. And I think what this is supposed to be is because the last thing that we saw him write in the book was "they're doomed," right? So I think in his mind, this is them saying like, "Hey, you need to get the fuck out of here. Like this can't be the ending of your story." But we also see. Oh no, never mind. That's it. Sorry, my notes are not very well written. I thought I had that the rabbit shows up in the reflection, but it does not.
Oh. And then back to the conquistador stuff real quick. That reminds me that earlier on when he's talking to Fiona at the bar, he mentions like, oh, it's going to have a bleak ending. And then when he's talking to the bellhop, he mentions like, oh, I don't think I'm going to finish it. Like, it's going to have an open ending.
Yeah.
So it's this whole like, he's essentially given up at this point.
Right. So then the bell rings, and then we cut back to the hourglass, and they're gone. He starts exploring a little bit more. He sees that there's a fire escape map or a fire map on the wall. So he's looking at that and trying to like figure out a way to get out. Then he starts to hear, Fiona's the voice recording device starts to play by itself. Mm-hmm. And basically it's Fiona, and she's saying there's no escape.
Oh, because he's literally, at this point, he's literally getting ready to go in the thing. Like, he's about to crawl his ass in there, go down. And that's when we get her voicemail basically saying, like, yeah, or not a voicemail, but you get it. Like, yeah, the pulley system is broken. You're not going to be able to get back up. Like, once you're down there, you're trapped down there. That's it. Which, do they have cell phones? Why does he not have a cell? He can't call, like,
I don't know.
I don't know if we ever see him with the phone, or
I don't know if we ever see a cell phone.
So then he has to figure out how to. I think we. Oh, we might not. You might be right.
I don't know if we ever do.
We only see the laptop. But yeah, then he's trying to figure out a way to basically get himself back up. Mm-hmm. Which during these shots, it happens a lot more going on, like further into the movie. But they do a really good job of emphasizing like there's like sculptures on the wall of faces and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then the bell, I guess the clock, they really focus on the face so many times going forward. That
it's a creepy ass kid.
Anything, I'm assuming this stuff is old, it just gives old vibes. The way like old dolls, like, I don't know, bro, the vibes are just off.
So he's able to time the clock to where he takes the bell off, so that way it's just a little boy with the hammer. And he's able to time it to where when the hammer, like, it'll hit, right? It'll swing and then whatever.
It'll bring the thing back up.
Right. So he puts it to the door for the little carrier so he can bring him back up. Exactly what Jordan's saying. So then he goes in.
Well, isn't this when the bell thing works and it brings it back up? Isn't Fiona's body back in it?
Yes, Fiona's body's back.
He's like getting ready to go in, the body's back.
And so he takes the body out and he puts it on the there's like a love seat.
Out of everywhere to put it, because it's like facing directly towards.
Yes.
And
her eyes are wide open.
They are. She's like frozen in the state. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't want to spoil too much that happens after this. But like, I was so sure that she was going to move at some point, like that she was gonna come back to life.
Mm-hmm. I was too. So then he gets in the elevator and he goes down the elevator. And there's this long, dark hallway at the very bottom.
Yeah, fuck this, bro. Honestly, like, I would stay at the top and let myself rot. Oh, this is a good time to note that, like, he's also set, like, his own alarm on his watch.
Yes.
That way he knows when to get back to the thing so he can make it up.
So then he goes ahead and there's like a light switch right at the little shaft and he clicks it on.
He has his lantern, which I don't know if we'd seen it be faulty before this, but it kind of like...
Oh, yeah.
It's a little faulty. This basement also, I know we see a quick like diagram on the fire exit. It has a lot of rooms. It has like double doors that almost look like a kitchen or something. Like it is a big basement. It's not just like a one-room thing.
Which, makes sense because these shafts are, I think they're called butler shafts.
The first thing I thought, like, is it to send food or to send clothes?
Supposed to be to send food and stuff like that, up and down. So then he gets out of the shaft and he starts walking down the hallway and there's like a bunch of trinkets hanging from strings from the ceiling, and he reaches the end of the hallway, which is essentially a dead end. Right,
it's where the exit was supposed to be, I'm pretty sure, and it's like, you can tell it's like fresh brick wall, just cut off.
Yeah, and he sits down, and he starts to play Fiona's recording again.
Which, hell no, I don't know why he thought now was a good time to, let me just sit and chill.
Yeah, because he plays the recording, and this is where she starts to say that there's something down there with her.
I think there's something down here with her.
Yes, and in the recording, and in Adam Scott's reality, we hear fucking noise, like weird ass noise.
This tape player is like full volume, bro.
Yeah.
It's like echoing like the whole time. And you can even see, this is when he does an amazing job as a character. You can like see the dread on his face. He's like, holy fuck, what am I doing? He's trapped up against a wall.
So he like basically is like, no, fuck that, and he starts running out. And I think as he's going out, there's like this other wall that he like turns a corner, and there's runes on the wall.
There is. It's like a. for lack of a better, it's like the Mummy. How they is that the Mummy that they? No, that's not. What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Like I don't know why I'm thinking of the Inscriptions. What are those on? It was totally a movie we saw recently. They have the inscriptions around the door. Okay, it's like Paranormal Activity, the Ghost Dimension. It looks like almost what I would think like a portal or something. Like it looks like a big square on the wall with like the symbols around it. What movie did we watch recently that had circles and a triangle in it? What movie was that? That movie we watched for this?
I don't know. What did we see the last?
I'm thinking of Paranormal Activity. This is bad. I'm sorry. I just watched these movies the other day, so I'm like super. It gives like witchcraft or something.
Yeah.
Like it's totally folklore related.
Yeah.
It's creepy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a stick of chalk.
There is. He picks it up and he runs off. He goes back into the elevator shaft, and he's like, I think his watch is going off, and he's like, about to shit his pants because the fucking clock hasn't swung its little, boy arms to like bring the elevator shaft, and then we focus on his perspective of the long hallway.
Oh god.
And the lights one by one start going off,
So
and
good.
something's coming until eventually like
You can feel it.
you can feel it,
And
and then you can see the face start to come out of the
Another
dark.
like slow reveal, and we're seeing like the boy at the top. Basically, the clock is like stuck, like it just is not going. Oh, this was so good.
It's so good.
unsettling.
And then when we get the full face reveal from the dark, that's when boom, the elevator shafts.
It's
or the
literally
carrier
like
starts to
right
go
here.
up.
Like you can feel the
Yeah.
You can feel that he's ready to get the hell out of there.
Yeah. And so when he finally reaches the top, he then looks down into the shaft, and staring up at him is the fucking thing. Because I think the carrier goes back down.
And I think you can see like the lights. There's lights in the shaft that are kind of like flickering.
They're flickering, and you can see the face at the bottom of it. And I love the way that it works because you see his perspective of him looking down. You obviously see the face there. Then you cut back to the room where he's in, and then it goes back to the elevator shaft where you still see the face there.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to the room, and then it goes back to the shaft, and then you see the fucking
She starts crawling.
to climb up the wall.
Not slowly. This is like he gotta slam that fucking door.
Yes! Oh, it's so good. So then he runs basically deeper into the room, and the witch is out there, and they're like doing this game of cat and mouse until eventually he like locks the restroom door, locks the other door.
Oh, and then he falls through the fucking tub.
Yeah, he falls through the tub, he's soaking wet. Then he gets the chalk and he draws this giant circle around the bed. And you can see through like the drapes, the fucking witch walking around the bed, and like I think she puts her face to the fucking thing.
This whole scene is so good because like she in the doors to this room before she gets in. There's like a window on the top that she like bangs on. I don't know.
She like jumps.
Yeah.
And he's like.
And then you see her through like the stained glass in the restroom. It's very good. But yeah, she's like, if it comes across very like taunting, like she's looking at him through the sheer, getting as close as she can. Which this is the first time it's been tested. Like, I think at least what I was feeling was like, we're putting to the test if this fucking chalk actually works, or she's about to end this guy.
Yeah.
Because even like she's walking around it, because for some reason the bed's not against the wall. It's like in the center of the. But he's like following her. Yeah. It's intense.
Yeah,
man.
it's really good. And then we cut to the next day. Homeboy fell asleep.
Again.
Yeah. And the manager shows up to the lobby area, and as he's walking, he shows up to the outside, and he's walking towards the door, and there's a vehicle there that has a bloody handprint on the window.
Yeah.
And he goes inside to find Jerry in the lobby, and he basically, they're like, hey, where's Bowman? Again, Adam Scott's character. And the manager's like, oh, he left. And so basically he lies to him, right? That he showed up at whatever place. The cops were like, oh no, just go home. So then he went home.
Yeah.
He went back to the Americas.
Which is, I mean, Jerry got there. I'm pretty sure that's in Bowman's rental car.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he very clearly knows that like something is up. He would have gotten his stuff. He would have gotten his car. Because even telling him again, like he reiterates, like, I need to go up to that room. Like I need to see the room.
I need to see the room. Yeah. And so Adam Scott wakes up in the bed, and there's no witch. He goes to look. There's like, the windows are all boarded up with this really thin cardboard, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's like a cutout, and in the cutout, he's able to see that there's a vehicle outside.
So he walked out of the chalk. What did he do?
Yeah, true. And so then, again, we come back. We keep cutting back between Bowman and Jerry and the manager. And so Jerry and the manager are basically conversing. Hey, I need to go up to the room. No, you can't. Where's Bowman? Whatever. And then Bowman finds the mechanism that rings the bell.
Yeah, he's like searching for it, and he finally finds it.
He finally finds it. And so when he finds it, it's a little too late because at this point Jerry's already outside, and he starts ringing the bell, and you can tell that the manager just shit his pants.
It's like, oh shit.
Yeah. So then we cut, and Jerry starts walking back.
He gets back out, and the manager is like watching him through the window.
Yeah,
like,
he's watching him through the window. Just for him to get inside, and right before Jerry walks back in, Adam Scott pulls too hard on the string and breaks the mechanism.
Yeah.
Jerry forgot the car keys in the lobby. So then the manager is still like on edge, trying to figure out what to do. And Jerry's like saying how he felt off, that like something wasn't right. And he even says that Fiona told him to always trust his gut. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, in the honeymoon suite, Adam Scott busts down the wall to find the string to activate the bell.
I didn't think about this though right now. He couldn't bust down the wall to get out of the damn room. I guess he wouldn't have been able to get down the elevator anyway. But yeah, he like rips a big ass hole under it.
Mm-hmm. So then Jerry grabs an axe, right? I think he showed up with the axe, or like a hatchet.
Yeah.
And so he grabs it off of the desk, and they hear the bell ringing, both of them, in the lobby. And so Jerry's, the manager's begging Jerry not to go up there.
Wait, is this moment? I thought Jerry had left again, and he drives away.
Mm-mm. Does he drive away? I'm pretty sure he
There's a moment he drives away, and then doesn't he come back? Or maybe
I think you're confusing him leaving to the car the first time. And
okay.
So he's begging Jerry not to go upstairs, or not to go to the honeymoon suite, but he does it anyways. Remember, he has the hatchet. So then we see the manager go into the manager office. He gets a space heater, plugs it into an outlet, which you're not, or an extension cord, which you're not supposed to do because it's a fire hazard. He puts a blanket over the space heater, which again you're not supposed to do. That's also a fire hazard. So he's starting a fire is essentially what's going on. Which again, Jack Rabbit said, don't play with fire. And so then Jerry goes up the elevator. Him and Scott meet. There's the small door under the desk. They break it open. And I think as they're breaking it open, or it just opens up.
It just opened up.
It just opens up, and we see the manager show up in the elevator doorway, and he shoots Jerry in the head with a crossbow.
Which I was not expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Which, now that I'm recollecting, I think Adam Scott, when he reaching the drywall to pull it, I feel like Jerry leaves, and then he comes back with the axe. I think he goes to grab the axe. Mm-hmm. But either way, I don't know why I get fixated on stuff like this. I have a big question just for this moment.
Okay.
And I don't know how these elevators work. I've never dealt with them. I'm assuming, because do you have to close the thing? I don't know. What confused me was that Jerry had the key to get up there, which you needed for the elevator. But does it not automatically lock? Like, do you have to physically lock it?
The gate?
Yeah.
I think you have to physically lock it.
Okay, because what confused me was that Jerry had the key, but the manager was able to get up. But
yeah,
I guess Jerry didn't lock it behind him.
Right. And even at that, I would imagine that, I guess for security purposes, there would have to be two keys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One for the guest and then one for management.
But yeah, this was very much, I wasn't expecting this. I thought, after we see him deal with the heater or whatever, I thought, like, okay, he's just going to burn the place down. He comes across, especially in his confrontation with Jerry, he comes across very, like, he's not going to do it. He's not going to defend himself. He's not going to do anything crazy.
Right.
Like, he doesn't want to be violent. So for him to show up with a crossbow.
Yeah. So then after shooting Jerry, he immediately goes right back downstairs and he leaves the keys. Very important. He leaves the keys on Jerry's body. He doesn't grab them.
Yeah.
So then after he goes down, Scott grabs the keys. The manager then realizes, oh fuck, I forgot the keys. So then he starts going back up to the honeymoon suite, and the fire at this point has already started. Like the alarms are starting to go off. He's trying to locate the keys from Jerry's body. They're not there, so then he goes into the room and he sees Adam Scott going down the elevator shaft. And the manager is basically yelling over like an intercom or something like that, right?
Yeah, there's an intercom, like an old, like it was in houses and stuff. Yeah, like he's talking from that room down to the
basement. And he's saying how there's no way out in the basement. Like that's it. And then so Scott's like, whatever, I don't care. He goes, into the hallway, and I think we start to get like some more of the witchy noises.
We do.
And he starts drawing a circle. This is another really big one. He starts drawing a circle into the ground, and the way that they frame this, I think, is really great because we see like him drawing the circle, and it's like the way that the camera's angled. It's his body and his shoulder. And the moment he turns to finish the circle, boom, there's the witch's face. Scary.
Yeah, this was well done. Because you can tell, like, the sounds are getting louder. You can tell, like, he's about to get confronted. So it's very much like a race to draw the circle. Mm-hmm. So getting caught right at the end. Yeah. And then they do, very well done, they cut it. Like, we never see directly what happens after we see the witch.
Right. And so then we see the manager go down into the basement from the same, elevator shaft. In the trinkets that are hanging from the ceiling, he sees that the honeymoon suite keys are right there. The fire alarm also in this moment starts to get lower in frequency, more spaced out until eventually it stops completely.
Yeah, Amanda literally asked me, like, did the sound change? Did the alarm change? Because, completely. And this is another, ties back into the, essentially something gets taken from you. Like, we know, okay, Bowman was the last person to have that key, so it hanging we can only, make assumptions about.
Right. And so as he's up there trying to get the key out, that's when he gets caught by the witch, right? Like, she puts the cuffs on his hands or something. And then we get the shot, see that Adam Scott didn't finish the circle, and he's crying on the ground. And then we see the ghost of his mom. And his mom, at this point, this is the only time we see the two of them actually interact. Because he is there and he's apologizing and all these things. And she's like, no, I forgive you. Like, it's okay. Everything's fine. And then we see that as this conversation is going on, the chains start to get pulled, or at least the manager's chains start to get pulled. And then at the end of the hallway, we see the doors bust open.
These doors that have been there, that we haven't seen behind, but they've been there.
They've been there, they bust open, and there's all these, it's the underworld is basically the interest of the underworld. And the manager starts getting pulled in until eventually they get all the way in, and then Scott starts to get pulled in after that. And then he has this we should have mentioned this a long time ago. He has this file that he uses to I forgot what he cuts earlier in the movie, but he cuts something. It's like it's a file that he can use he uses it to break the chain.
Yeah, I forget what he got it. When he got it.
I think they emphasize it when Fiona cuts him down.
Yes, it was given back with the stuff he got, with his stuff, because it was in the room. But yeah, it was used to cut the rope that he was on. Which this is, it comes across very, medieval to me, that they have, they're basically, handcuffed on the arm, they're chained on the arms. The witch even, I'm pretty sure is wearing, a hat. To me, it gives, the same vibe the, conquistador outfits give. It's very, medievally, spooky.
So then from here we get basically our falling action, right? Him leaving the basement, he goes back up the elevator shaft.
He cuts himself out. Does he cut the key down? I don't remember. I think
he takes it, but I don't know if he grabs it on the way out or something.
Yeah.
But, we get a shot of Fiona's body, and we can see that there's a tear coming from her eyes. When he makes it, and they're still open, when he makes it up the elevator shaft and gets out of it, her eyes are closed.
Oh, I didn't realize.
And then there's now again we start to hear the fire alarm going off in the building. He eventually gets out, buildings ablaze, all that kind of stuff. And then the other worker shows up in the hallway. Oh, sorry, Adam Scott makes it out of the elevator for the honeymoon suite, and then he collapses.
Yeah.
Then the other worker shows up and basically saves Scott.
Which gives me the impression that the other worker wasn't in on it.
Right.
Like, I think he only got Jerry because they had assumed that Jerry was a bad guy. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely believe that. He didn't know what was actually happening.
Yeah, I think that too. So then we cut to the hospital, and the bellhop comes up, and then they start to basically converse, saying that they found both Fiona and Jerry's body in the rubble, but they didn't find the manager's body. And the bellhop says that that Jerry had spiked Adam Scott's drink with the mushroom powder.
Yes, this was like a very big... Because he even mentions... I don't know how it got brought up, but it got brought up because he burned him in the hand or whatever.
Yeah.
Essentially, like, yeah, in the flask you drank, which we see him chug at one point. That, like, yeah, I spiked it.
Yeah.
Which goes full circle to what Jerry had said earlier about, like, essentially, one, like, from Jerry's perspective, needing that to see the stuff that is always there. But then, two, I feel like, at least in Adam's perspective, his whole questioning of Jerry was like, well, you're taking these mushrooms, how can I trust what you're seeing?
Mm-hmm.
So now I feel like Bowman's having a moment of like, can I believe what I just went through, basically?
Yeah.
Because he even like looks at his hands and we see the bruises that were there. But even to the audience, I feel like it leaves this, which it ties into a lot of movies. Like, I'm not saying that I believe this, but I guess it leaves the door open for something like the Candyman situation or other things where like, is what he saw actually real? Is that actually what was seen or like what happened?
And I think it is.
Me too. I got the vibe that it was.
Yeah, and like the way that I'm thinking about it is like the mushrooms were just there as the catalyst to see what actually is there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then we get the rest of our falling action, or I guess the rest of our conclusion for the story. Adam's doing great, all that kind of stuff. And then he goes to rewrite the ending of his book, and in the ending of his book, basically, the conquistador tells the little kid to break the bottle over his skull, but instead the kid throws the bottle into the desert.
Yeah.
Which lands next to a goat skull.
Right, which we see right after.
Mm-hmm.
But because then they embrace, essentially, yeah, it's this sweet moment of like, okay, his perspective has changed. Like,
right.
It's a very nice closing. Yeah, it landing by the goat skull was, like, I know it kind of ties into the goats from earlier also, but it ties into this funny, like, not ties in, but it's this funny situation of, like, they both almost killed each other, even though the skull was right, like,
yeah,
it easily broken.
Use that one. But yeah, that was Hokum.
Very good. Highly recommend.
I do really like
I'm
this
excited
movie.
to see.
Really
This is another director. I know you don't like Nosferatu, but that's one of Eggers is one of my directors too. This is another director that like I think at least any movie until he ruins that, like, which will probably never happen, but like just somebody I'm really tied to. Like Lee Cronin to me is, if a movie has his name on it, like I have to go see it.
Yeah.
I think this director is hitting that for me.
Gotcha.
Very well done.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think that's it.
All
Worth
right.
watching.
Yeah, I think
Adam
it was.
Scott's goated.
Yeah, I think it was really good as well. That was Hokum. The next movie we're going to go ahead and cover is going to be 13 Ghosts. It's Adam's pick. He is very excited to see it.
He's gonna carry that episode. If it's trash, I'm pretty sure the last thing that Adam was excited to pick was Puppet Master.
But until then, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the algorithm stuff. We would really appreciate it, and y'all have a good day.
We better get a Jackrabbit prequel.